Okay, so at the first time, I will thank you to be here, and I would like to take some really few minutes just to inform everybody about the reason of this webinar. We are starting a series of webinars on the content of our work on the shared built heritage. And actually, this is the second one, because the first one is on the heritage of our group, of our international committee, and it was done last year. We are just waiting to upgrade our website to publish the results of our former webinar. And then we started to make webinar on the could look like something that works in the idea of make a presentation of our next physical meeting, even if it will not a physical meeting for everybody, unlucky, but we're just following the use that was started by the former presidents of our committee to make a study trip in the country where the yearly AGA General Assembly of Icomos is done. And this year is Thailand. We were not able to do the same on the former 2 years because of the COVID, and the COVID blocked totally the movement, and the AGA were online. So we decided to propose a work as a kind of starting and reflection and kind of presentation of the trip and the study tour that will be done, and this will be done in the end of October. And IT is really largely committed in organizing it, so I thank you, IT. And unlucky I will not with you, but that's another problem. So we are proposing to show what are a kind of a shareable heritage that's nowadays and in modern Siam. Why I'm using nowadays, even if we will talk, most of us will talk about historical building, because we are working on heritage, therefore we have to know the history. But what is important is how we deal with this kind of heritage. And this is a fantastic chance, because we start the presentation with Luke that will introduce the situation. Then we will present some national activities there as a historical presentations. And luckily at the end, Piraya, our Thai colleague, will talk about the heritage, nowadays heritage. And this why I'm starting. I will propose you, this will be the presentation. The series will be done in this we organized, and we had a short meeting last week. The idea is just a short introduction by myself. That's what I'm doing in the really informal way. But sorry, I'm not able to be formal. I try sometimes, but it's terrible. And what we will do is that we will present, of course, the genesis and the reasons for European presence in Thailand by Luke. Luke is a journalist, actually, his main journalist, architectural lover, and he's a specialist of Southeast Asia. And actually in the last 20 years, because I was looking around on the web, in the last 20 years, Luke lived in between Paris and Bangkok. And we were in contact with him because he made the research of the project, the project that of a map of European buildings that were done by the European countries, and the project was led by the European Cooperation and some of European embassies. Then we'll have Maria José Freitas that will talk about Portugal and Thailand, 500 years of shared history and built heritage as a present memory. That's really interesting. Maria as our president, our actual president, and she's an architect. She worked a lot for heritage in Macau and in Portugal, in Sintra. And if I don't make a mistake, we will have in a really short term, a new specific PhD on this item. So we are just waiting to read it. And she will start the representation of the national presentation, the national building being there, starting from Portugal, because it's the first European countries who had relationships, modern relationships with the Southeast Asia. Then we will have Siegfried Anders. Hello, Siegfried. Hello again. Siegfried was for a lot of time, the maximum possible time, our president. He had to leave because he was elected 3 times, and the maximum was accepted by Icomos as president of our scientific committee. He has an education in architecture and in planning, a PhD on houses in Japan. That was a really great chance, because I remember the great study trip in Japan that we had some years ago. And then he was he works in the State Conservation Office of Wiesbaden in Germany, and he will talk about the German architects, planners, and engineers in modern Thailand. Then I will present you some of the works that were done by the Italian architects there. I discovered some years ago when I was traveling in Thailand, a lot of Italian names. That was a surprise for me, and it was a great chance to prepare a presentation today. And I hope I will be able to present you in a correct way. And then at the end of our presentations, we will have Piraya Bunprasonga. I apologize for pronunciation. And that will have a presentation on the European presence in Thailand, but how they are nowadays. So how they are as heritage and not as historic, only from the historical point of view. Piraya is assistant professor in Bangkok, in the university. That's a Silpakorn University. That's something that's quite interesting for Italians, because I discovered, of course, that was an Italian was really connected to this university that was a school of art before. And also she founded the BRIC, that has a strange name, but the development is really, really interesting. That's Building Rehabilitation and Innovative Conservation Center, and looking for Thailand, a local way of rehabilitation of a recent heritage. After the interventions, I think that we will have a roundtable. I asked to everybody to try to respect. We will have roughly 15 minutes, 20 minutes, something like that. And we will have a roundtable later to talk together and to answer to cross questions. So if you agree, I will ask to Luke to start his presentation. Actually, I will do it. And I wish you all the best for this next 2 hours.